YouTube, what it do? How are y'all feeling today? I appreciate you stopping by and checking out this video. And today's topic is going to be automation in the world of trades and how automation is going to affect us and are tradespeople protected against automation. Well, we have to ask ourselves, well, what exactly is automation? Well, automation is technology, robots, AI, essentially coming in and replacing a normal human workforce. Now, this is not an unheard of concept. This is something that we see on a normal basis now. Anytime you go to McDonald's or the grocery store, you're already seeing it in place, from self-checkout lines to being able to scan on your phone and check things out. Also in warehousing. You know, we're already seeing it where in factories, you see it where robots ride around and they're already, you know, they've taken up a job that 5-10 years ago a human would have been doing. Well, why is this even an issue? Well, it's an issue for a big part of the world because there's a huge labor force on repetitive jobs. Think about how many people work at McDonald's or in fast food. How many people work for big corporations like Amazon in the warehouses. Same, how many people work at Walmart? You know what I mean? Like, we're talking tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people where their jobs could potentially be phased out by this. And actually, the trucking industry as well too, which we're talking about 3 million plus jobs that are going to be in jeopardy within the next 10 years. And yeah, I say trucking because if anybody, unless you're completely living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard about self-driving cars and all this. Well, if you don't think it's going into trucks, and these trucks are going to be going and driving up and down the freeways delivering stuff without a person in there, you're mistaken, because I guarantee you, take it from me, take it from all the other experts, it's coming and it's going to be here. And one thing we have to look at is, well, why is automation happening so quickly now? Because we don't really need it, right? We've been totally fine with a normal workforce and people working, so why has automation become this big thing? Well, unfortunately in America, people have not been paid a livable wage for a long time. So now we have people out here who are actually fighting for a livable wage. I'm totally cool with that. I think people deserve that. But these big corporations, if you think they just all of a sudden just want to start paying people more and taking profits out of their hands, well, you're a little mistaken there. And what these companies have then done is, like McDonald's is the biggest one I could think of. I remember a couple years ago, everybody's like, you know, we want $15 an hour, raise the wage. Man, almost damn near right away, McDonald's started putting in those the kiosks in the stores. And not just in a couple, like it's in every single McDonald's now. So they're like, okay, you want to fight for higher wages? Well, we're just going to replace you with a robot. And to the company, from a business standpoint, I fully understand it because, you know, a human, what can we work at a company? You know, you figure maybe you work 8 to 10 hours a day, right? You're paid. They got to give you insurance. If you're getting that, they have to pay all these expenses on top of having an employee. Well, when a company has a robot working for them, you ain't got to give them wages. You don't have to give them vacation days. You don't have to hear about them complaining. They just do their fucking job. You know what I mean? And if it breaks, well, then you call somebody in. Hint, hint. You call somebody in to fix that robot. So even though automation is going to come in and take a ton of jobs, it is going to replace them. But these companies, they do not want to pay people more money. They're worried about their profit line and their bottom end, and they are going to do what they can to make things more efficient and to keep that cash flowing. And so what do? They put technology in. They put these robots in. They're putting these kiosks in everywhere to essentially replace those jobs and not have to deal with that at all. So, like the video states, automation and in the world of trades, right? Well, are we in the trade world protected against this? And my answer to this is yes. I do not think that within the next 100 to potentially even couple hundreds of years, we are not going to see automation replace plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. Like, we are 100% fully protected against this. And I'm going to tell you why. it's easy to put a robot in or a piece of technology where a job is extremely repetitive. So if you think about like the gas station or your grocery store, you know, the jobs that are getting replaced are the ones where somebody's sitting there scanning something, is boop, boop, boop. You know, they literally, like, their task is so minimal and extremely repetitive, just like warehouse workers, or like factories, things like that. Majority of those jobs are repetitive, where you're doing the same task over and over again. You're moving a box here, you're putting it here, you're taking one thing from here, putting it up here, you're taking a credit card, putting it in the machine, you're flipping a burger. Like, every single one of those processes can be automated. It really just comes down to a matter of if the company wants to put the money in to automate it. Which for them, you know, they lose a little bit of money up front, but in the long run, they'll keep more of their money by doing that. Well, think about it like this. At least I think about it like, as a plumber, what the fuck is a robot going to come in and do that I'm doing? You know how many times I have to get up into like a weird, awkward place, like if I'm trying to replace a valve or something in the ceiling, or even as simple as pulling a toilet off the floor and checking the flange, making sure that's good, replacing the wax ring, toilet back, new supply line. I will. There ain't a fucking robot out there that's about to go out there and do all that stuff. Like, maybe you could have a robot on the back end doing like paperwork, stuff like that, yada yada, but there's no way a robot is going to go to somebody's house, diagnose their issue, explain it to the customer in a way that they understand, and actually fix the issue. You know what I mean? Same with electricians. You guys know how you're trying to fish a wire through the wall, you got to drill all these holes, you know, like every home is different. Some of the processes are the same, but each job is unique in its own way. And that's where the technology fails, where these robots and things, they can't do that kind of stuff. If anything, you know, the technology for us is going to be in the tools and the equipment that we use. We don't have to worry about a robot coming in and taking our job at all. Whereas, like I said, with truckers, warehouse workers, you know, we're talking trucking, and we're talking millions of people whose jobs and careers are in jeopardy over the next 10 years. You know, this isn't something I think that's like, oh, next week or next month, everything's going to be fully automated and all these people are going to be out of jobs. This is going to be a little bit of a slow process, but I think over the next 10, 15 years or so, it's going to be pretty normal at that point. We're going to be seeing trucks going up and down the road that don't even have people driving them. And like I said, it's going to create some jobs, but it's going to take away a lot more jobs than what it's going to create. And this is part of the reason why I push plumbing in the trade so much, is because you're 100% protected against that. And just think about, like, anytime you've ever made a phone call to a larger company and they have that automated voice system that you have to deal with. How annoying is that, and how inaccurate is it? I was sitting here yelling at my damn phone because the stupid computer can't understand what I'm saying. So imagine being a customer somewhere and you got this dumbass R2-D2 at your house trying to explain to you why your water heater's not working, and it can't do it. Maybe it can explain it to you why you have an issue with a part of your system, but it's not going to be able to go in there and fix it. And if anything, I think the only way automation is going to touch the trades is in new construction. Because essentially you could look at it like it's 3D printing. If you can create a blueprint, and you know the materials that are needed, essentially, you could in theory automate that whole home building process. But we haven't even seen anything like that touching our field, whereas in these other places, you know, automation has already been going on for 5-10 years plus, if, you know, not even a little bit more. But it's really starting to catch on now. So this is why it's important, like, even if it's something you don't necessarily, like, really want to get into, having a skilled trade is not a bad thing at all. You do it for a couple years or a year or so. If you don't like it, it is what it is. You move along. But like I argue all the time, once you get into the skilled trade and it's something that works out for you, this is a skill you can take anywhere in the world with you, no matter what. You know how easy it is to get a visa to other countries? Like me as a plumber, an experienced plumber at that. And once I become licensed, I'll be able to grab a visa for anywhere in the world and be able to go there and work and not even have to think twice about it. If anything, I'll just have to learn the systems over there. But I don't have to worry about a robot coming in and replacing me. I sleep so comfortably at night knowing that, you know? Because I feel bad for a lot of people, because I see how colleges push all these whack-ass careers and jobs, and especially trucking. Like, trucking is the big one. I keep seeing ads for this, for people to go into trucking school and to get that kind of job, which I think is cool. It's great pay. You get good benefits. But if you're looking at it from a career standpoint, you know, it's like, how long are you actually going to be able to be a trucker for? You know, you might have 10 years, maybe 15 at the most, but the way these companies are pushing it, it's going to be here before we know it. And also with that, what skills are you getting from these jobs? You know, you work at like McDonald's or Walmart, or you're a trucker, you're not really getting any skills at all. Like me, if I sat here and rambled off my skills, you know, and what I could do, we'd be sitting here all damn day. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But you can't take that away from me at all. So aside from plumbing, like, I can do a ton of the other trades. And I'm not a master at that. I'm more of a master plumber. But you can't take that from me. You can't take that. Whereas you're somebody at a grocery store, McDonald's, or somebody like that, or Amazon, like, I praise them for paying people a good wage, and I understand why people would want to go there and get that, because it's some really good money, especially when you start getting into the overtime. But what are you really doing there? What skill are you learning? Like, what are you gaining at a place like that, aside from beating the shit out of your body? And you're just to be phased out in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, you can't tell me people that work at Amazon, like, if you're working at Amazon right now, I don't care if you're driving the trucks or you're in the warehouse, you have a repetitive job. You're opening up boxes, making boxes, you take a box from here, you put it over here. It's like, you can't tell me a robot's not going to come in and take that job from you. You think Bezos wants to pay tens of thousands of people a livable wage versus having a staff of robots that work 24/7, that don't complain, that don't call off of work? If anything, they just break down and they have people that come in and fix them. That's what these companies care about, their bottom dollar and that top line in efficiency. And technology and automation is extremely efficient, and from a business standpoint, I fully understand it. I'm not even upset that automation is coming in. But what has sped up this process is the fact that now we have to, which we should have been doing a long time ago, but now that people are actually out there fighting for their wages and striking and all this, these companies are going to do what they can to get around that. Like I said earlier in the video, McDonald's, when people started that whole $15 an hour stuff and striking and all that, McDonald's came and put kiosks in their buildings. They're like, fuck y'all, we don't need you. We're going to put a kiosk in here to take your job. You want $15 an hour? Go down the street to Amazon. Go work there and bust your ass moving boxes all damn day and driving trucks. Now, I will say though that the delivery drivers, you guys are probably protected for quite a while, because a robot, like the truck itself could drive, yes, but you still need somebody to deliver the package to the door. Okay, so that will probably remain for a while, unless they just decide that they'll be fine dropping packages off in your driveway, then a robot could just, you know, shoot it out or whatever, and that'll be that. But I don't see that part changing anytime soon. So keep in mind, like, automation is quickly sweeping the country, and to be honest with you, I got a lot of viewers that are like India, UK, places like that. I know you guys tend to look at trades in a whole different light than what we do. And I don't know, I know where automation is, like what it's doing to our country and how quickly it's growing. I don't know how it is for your country, but what I would say is it's still something to probably consider, that you got to avoid getting into a career that could be phased out by automation. And unfortunately, you can even go to college. Like here in America, we push college. We push it. That if you don't go to college, you're going to be a loser. You ain't get a job. I'll tell you this. I don't know the statistics, but I know a lot of people who I went to school with. I got a bachelor's degree. We were unable to get jobs in our career because we went either for some bullshit. You know, like I went for, I did business management. which I actually use now. That was a pretty useful one, but aside from the college debt, I could have just learned that from some courses, right? I didn't necessarily need to go to school for it. But people that go to school for like liberal arts and philanthropy and whatever, you know, like unless you're going to be a doctor or law school or something, an engineer, like things like that are great, but there's too many people out here with bachelor's degrees right now that can't even get a damn job. So that's why I keep pushing y'all, like take a look at trades, plumbing, electrician, HVAC, all that stuff. These are great things to get into, and you got a skill you can take anywhere in the world with you, and you're 100% protected against automation. And like I said, we're going to benefit from automation in the sense that it's going to make our jobs easier. So like, we know that a robot can't replace us, but we have the technology for us to get better tools, better equipment, make the job more efficient and smooth flowing. So we're going to benefit in that manner from it. So why not get into something that you know is still, like you could have a career in this for 10, 20, 30 years and not have to worry about anything, really, except for how well you treat your body and how you're able to hold up. But there again, there's so many different aspects of plumbing, electrical, HVAC, carpentry that you could get into. Mostly plumbing. I think plumbing has the most ends out of all those that you could get into where you're still protected against. You know, it really actually thinking about it too, automation actually might replace some of our warehouse workers, where, you know, like I have to go to a supply house to get parts and things like that. There's not a lot of people that work in these warehouses. You got, you know, a dozen people at some of the larger ones I work with, maybe a couple of dozen, excuse me. To some of the places I go, they got a staff of 5 people. You know, it's not that big. So automation might replace some of those people or some of the warehouse aspects of it, but even there, you can still go be a warehouse worker for a plumbing supply place and not have to worry about that too much. But that's why I keep pushing this. Look into plumbing, look into the trades. You are 100% protected, and you're getting a skill, not just one. You check out some of my other videos, and I'll probably do another one here soon about all the skills that you get by getting into the trades. Like, you become so fucking foolproof from all the crap out here by getting into the trades. You might not be that well respected until somebody needs you. See, that's the thing, and that's one issue. I'll probably do a video about this one too. I don't know how it is in, well, Europe, India, places like that. From my understanding, people who are in the trades are just as respected as lawyers and doctors. Well, here in America, unfortunately, we're not as, we tend to be looked down upon until somebody needs our services. Then they're like, oh man, it's so great to have a plumber like you. Oh, more people need to do this. Yes, you're right. More people do need to do this. And if you want to get away from all this automation and everything, get into the trades. Check it out. It is completely worthwhile. Even if you do it for a year or so and just get that skill, you have completely protected yourself. Because let's say you get into plumbing or something like that, and then you decide, nah, you know, this isn't for me. So you go to become a trucker, or you decide you want to go work at Amazon instead and have an easier job. Well, when it comes to the time where that position gets phased out from automation, you could always fall back and get back into the trades or try a different one. You know, you tried plumbing, you didn't like it. Try electrical, try HVAC. It doesn't matter. Try something, do something, find something that you're comfortable with. But I'm telling you, you are doing yourself a disservice if you are working a job where it's remedial and you're doing that same repetitive task over and over again all day. It is going to be phased out before you know it. And you think your job's going to give you a 2-week notice? Bruh, you going to walk into work one day and you're going to see one robot one day. And you're going to come next week, there's going to be 3 robots in there. You're like, man, where's Jimmy at? Oh, that robot over there, Mr. Beep Boop, he took over Jimmy's job. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And you come back 2 weeks from them, and your boss is like, what are you doing here? We got little Jerry the robot over here. He took your job. You're done, dude. That's it. Benefits, all that. You're cut, bro. You're out of here. So this is why it's important. Get into something that you are protected against and you're getting a skill at. I could keep rambling on about this and talking about it, but I think I've done enough on that end for this part. So I'll leave it with this. Once again, keep in mind automation is quickly sweeping our country, sweeping the world. I'm sure it's different in some of the other countries that are not as capitalistic as America is, but do yourself a favor and protect yourself against automation. And the way to do it is to get into the trades. Become a plumber, become an electrician, get into HVAC, get into carpentry. Do something that a robot cannot replace you with. And I'm telling you, it's a lot easier than you think. We have such a shortage of tradespeople here. These schools are fighting to get people. We're not fighting hard enough, because that's why you see me out here. But it's easy. It's easy as hell to get a job. As a plumber, electrician, HVAC, any of that stuff. So with that, I'm going to end the video. I appreciate you sticking through and watching this. Please drop a like. I'd appreciate it. And leave a comment too, especially for some of my overseas viewers. I would love to know, like, what your work atmosphere is like over there, and is automation even like a thing in your country yet? Like, is it as big in your country as it is here in America? Because if you're somewhere where automation isn't really even a thing yet, then maybe you don't have to worry about it too much. But it's inevitable. It's coming at some point. Like I said, drop a like, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you do well. Have a good one.